Yeah, so thank you for thank you for the very conference, and thank you for that. It's been a so today we'll talk about categorical phrases and you know how to find active category. So let's start with some background. So let me start with the group recollection model. I will still want to be on model. So again, so everything essentially can be phrased for general type. For this half, I will put on that thing. So we start with this ring. We polynomial ring in n variables. So the generators are put in weighted distribution, and then we consider the category of my module over R. Then weighted. Then this string has an n. And so that's simple reflection. With the note number. Then there are special objects in this category. Okay. And then we define the category of super module to be the full subcategory of category by module of R. So everything here is module. So the smallest full subcategory of this guy that is close to the containing this guy and close to the second rect sum and rect sum man and pencil. And so for me, the finite Hecke category is defined to be the whole of the category of we actually need the DG enrichment, so this is the DG category of bounded check effects of Tubbenhauer. Okay, so one feature that at least for me make this thing interesting is that there's an interesting homomorphism from the grade group to this category. So this on top of the group here. So this part. So the way it's constructed is we have this over counting. We send it to a specific chain complex. So I'm going to mix up some gradient and I'm going to mix up over counting and other counting. Speaking. No, something like that. And then for a general grade, this is decomposed into product of these guys, and we use the monoid structure of this guy to get a general element associated to a grid element. Okay, and this is good because we can use it to understand Latin variables. So this is the speed. Great. So, roughly speaking, so any link can be obtained by complement of the link. So what they did is that they apply optional homology so to a grade data, they apply optional homology to it, and then they prove that this thing strictly graded vector space is a linking variable. So to know this linking variable, we have to prove that it's independent of the choice of the grade presentation of the link. In other words, we have to prove that It is an invariant under the two Markov rules. So one of the ways to understand the typically graded linear homology better is to relax and to think about invariance that only something that one of the model. So this is related to categorical trace. Nothing right. So this is related to the categorical trace of the Hecke. So this story so at least for me, and then from the logo of the woman kind of rhetoric. So the study is going to divide categorical trace of category, and but there are also the underlying version by the Quoc Ho and also those and these two are but so the categorical trace, whatever it is I was doing a bit, but what it does that it gives you an annular link component. And so instead of if you have two Markov moves, then you have to be link divided for links inside S3. But for if you just relax, what you just get never for the link inside anyway. So let me say precisely what they did. And that will be the motivation for the current stuff. Here. So in type A, that show that the categorical trace of this category. So first of all, by that reason, there's a natural map, not for trace map. Natural trace function from this to the categorical trace. And I show that this category is generated by one element, which is the image of the monoidal unit in this category. And so, as a result, this will be equivalent to the category of the of this trace, one, module, read, and look at the concept of that. Right? So the next thing is that we want to know what this is more expected. So that's also part of the theorem. You know, show that if you take the cohomology and you still have the linearity. If you take the cohomology, then you get a very explicit ring. And the semi-direct tensor model with right, so that was it. So this active data is simply cohomology of the forest. So the X comes from the cohomology of the forest. Plus function one theta comes from the cohomology of the forest. Okay, what we know that when given DT algebra, when you take cohomology of DT algebra, you get the circuit word. But there is more information in DT algebra. And if you want to transfer all that information into this simpler vector space, you have to put A in the bracket. one of any of the ring has being in nothing. And to say that all the higher stuff values is the same thing that this thing is forming. So higher operations vanish, which will make this much more concrete than otherwise. Because here we to define this category, we really need the whole BG factor of this thing. And so if we know that for the higher operation values, we get a more concrete handle of this category. So this was posted as a conjecture. Okay, so one of the goals for the talk today is to see how we can use geometric representation theory and ideas that come from the very geometric mathematical program to say something about this relation. That's the first motivation. And the second goal is, so that's how I define a dual notion of something of the Drinfeld center. So if we have time, we'll come to that. But one of the goals also to describe the Drinfeld center of this kind. So I want to say immediately that the link between this theorem and what we know from geometric representation theory, in particular, the theorem Hecke is not linear. So people already in that paper that it looks very much like geometric representation theory. I'm not sure that other people also for the same thing, but to make it precise, is kind of one of the main concepts in this. Why does it have anything to do with geometric representation theory?
Well, before you move them, so can you explain again for me what the price of one is?
Oh, so that's the supporting monod given about monodic energy. And you look at its strength. So you can model the something like this. C over C over. So it's kind of the categorical version of the tree. Using algebra. So ref is for reversing the multiplication. So that's another formula from here to here. And this is monoidal, so you get a monoidal unit. And this is actually some trade. And so factor one is the limit of the monoidal unit under this one. Right? So soon, hopefully, when I say the geometric picture, we'll convert to what this one will be in the geometric. Okay, so to be able to carry out this proposal, we have to put this problem in the geometric context. And what kind of problem? So the tracer category is a category, and tracer one is just an object in that category. Okay, so you like that's what I want to experiment with the tool, right? So in the end, it's not like end of this thing. Right? So under this identification between the trace and this category, the ring of the category of modules over this ring, it can go to this ring itself. That's what the case is. Yes.
This might be worth saying that that thing is the annular invariance of the trivial braid on an experience. Take the trivial braid and close it up in the annulus. I don't know if that's probably too tight a lot of things.
So right, so the first thing we have to do is to put this in the geometric context. So the first thing we do is to geometrize this kind of thing. And so this is a very overall subject that went back to the 90s by Philo and in the context of causality, Benson, Newton, and Thurlow. So let me quickly recall what they did. So in fact, this was in the morning's talk. So what it is that they look at this guy with G multiplied by 2 and they look at the category of semi-simple object in here, so semi-simple complex of conceptual sheet on this guy, and then they show that this is the same as the category of Tubbenhauer. And then once you have this, what it is that you just take change the of this thing, and then this automatically becomes the Hecke. So, at least from the perspective of theoretical representation theory, this is kind of highly unsatisfactory, because in general, whenever you want to have a theorization of some category, you want to put it into a field theory. And field is powerful because you can reflect on the formalism. But here you're stuck in this chain D blah, right? So you lose most of the six-topic formalism. You cannot go back along non-smooth map without screwing up purity, or you cannot put along non-proper map. And so this is kind of highly undesirable way to geometrize this thing. Of course, it's very useful, but for the purpose of computing kind of local trace, it's not very helpful. And then more recently, there was one by Silva himself. And then I thought that was a formula work by Tubbenhauer. Similar line, double. And so F is the So roughly speaking, what they did is that they used something called categories plus something called weight structure. So together, essentially, when we plug in this thing into the theory of model, we just get this object immediately. So that was one of the main things that we did. So we can avoid this ad hoc step of taking chain deals. And then the weight structure allow you to relate it back to chain deals on additive category. But somehow this is still not enough for our purpose. And the reason is that to talk about character sheets, it is important to be able to work over space with elements. You not need conjugation action, and you want conjugation action. And these things just don't work very well when you plug it into the. So that's why we need a new theory that somehow works for our Artin stack. So we can plug it essentially anything we like. But if you plug back this guy in, you still get the Hecke category. So then you quickly introduce this new theory of heat thermality. Okay, so let me go back to the story project. So just to keep everyone on the same page. So there's a derived category component routine on this. People usually call it the geometric tactic category. Some people call it. And this thing, right, is not good enough, right? Because you know that grading, then you take like the compact like P group of this guy, then you can get a group green. Why do you want to figure algebra instead of just this group green? And so we want to figure that grading. But classically, this chain here is a thing that gives the grading. But what we're going to do now is slightly different. So there is always kind of the philosophy that misfits in the sense of believe that place of believe gamma. Let's say believe gamma. To give you this extra grading that you want. But it's not quite, right? For example, already for the case of a point. If you look at the carry of mix, keeps back at Q. So go to the analytic shapes here. Then this is not what we want because this is very different from the carry of grading. You just basically know the carry of grading came on boundary. So for two reasons, it's for two reasons. First reason is that this thing remembers the whole Tubbenhauer action, whereas this guy only remembers the kind of size of the group. So that's the first reason why that. And the second reason is that this carry is very simple. This carry is going to have a lot of Jordan blocks. When you have a Tubbenhauer action, you can always have one-two extension between Tubbenhauer model. And so one of the things we do is that we want to turn this velocity into a real thing. Right? We actually want to convert the weight into a gradient in real standard. So the philosophy motivation is a polynomial. So we'll say one thing, then we'll tensor. So tensor of categories are like fiber products. So let's go some more examples and see what I mean by this. Okay, so suppose I have a stack 1 on 1, leaving over 1 on 1 is my relationship stack of that key. Now we know y to be these things to a bit lower. Now I want to look at the carry of sheet on y1. Let's say mixed sheet. So if I pull back, so everything inside of the normal, like visual pencil. And so that means that the kind of niches on this guy, right, will act on the kind of niches on this guy. So just pull back on the pencil. And so run the pencil, mix. And I can test it up all the way into. Whereas here, it's just carry out all the chain capacity. So one can show that this thing will be quickly embedded into the carrier of heat under agriculture, over the space over the agriculture itself. Now let's say that's about the difference. What is missing? But whenever you have a stack that is a finite orbit, for example, then for the G-mobility has finite orbit, then this is compact and good as happen. So how can they talk, right? I will just pretend that this thing is actually. And so I will just do this as the correct object. All right, and so this tensor really has a name, so the Louis tensor product. So it's the derived version of the Louis tensor product. So in the construction of reality, we will use this again, and then I will read some remark on how to think about this tensor. Okay, so this is one thing. So why is this helpful for us? So here's the thing, that there are more categories than just categories that are of the form T function. So when you overstack, you want to be able to pull back all the way to SQ bar, or you can pull back to SQ square or something, but that's it. But when you work with the level of categories, there is category that you can plug in. So for example, there's a simulation another function from the category of T from this guy, this by just turning weight into active weight. And so that makes the definition of the category of any option stack over a Q bar. Here's the definition. What are the applications? Why? Find the mix. One. The mix over one. And then to that three. Now this is an activity between T on stack of Q and stack of Q1. All right. So this abstract, in the abstract nonsense way, we get all the system components of it because just whatever operation we had before, we just apply to this factor, this identity, this capital. Right. So I think.
What kind of category is that?
So these are EG, EG category.
Can you say again in which case the error on right is influence?
Yes, again.
In which case this is influence?
When Y is finite ordered set or infinite ordered set. So essentially, it's finite. So here are a couple of remarks. I sometimes have to look at the tool, so we some work to do to realize these as something that has anything to do with the Hecke pattern. So the first remark is that 600 formulas of it. Okay. And then the next two remarks are about how to actually think about this category. So that's like all the atoms that I think of from the original category. Right? And I just put the factor in here and then just put the one-dimensional vector space in another function. So let me go to function here. Wait. So if graded log is generated by the central image of graph as an idempotent complete DG category. So now take care of what the object. And so the next thing we'll talk about is the hom. So the hom is in fact. I'm sorry.
When you say an idempotent complete DG category, which idempotents are you allowing yourself to add?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Are you only adding idempotents that are killed by the different?
No, all idempotent.
All idempotents.
All idempotent.
How do you put a different DG structure on the sum atoms?
I mean, there's just a general theory of idempotent infinity category that you can just really calculate. So in fact, so this thing, right? So really, what we did is that we do a big one. So a lot of these kind of categorical analysis thing, it's better to work with complete DG category. And then in a lot of cases, they cannot be compact generated. And then you define this thing to be the compact object of the original category, and then just overlay and then complete. So that's the compact step, right? So we don't actually do something and then let it complete it. Rather, we do a big work and we just distribute small. That's the first remark. And the second remark is about the home plate into objects. So suppose there are two things. F1 and F2 that are mixtures over Y1. You can look at the image. And then you take home.
So can you say any more? Why this? You say in spite of other, you said object with the G tables.
Yeah, this is the category, is the DG category.
So can you say why this?
Sorry, this is defined in Lurie's book. So it takes some work to actually define this thing. Right? So it's not so I guess one thing that one can say is
But I didn't know it would define it as an infinity. Right?
yes.
You have to go and show that it's infinity.
Very question. Okay, so there are many ways to there are many ways to say the word DG is for me.
I mean, you don't have to explain it simply. I just want to know.
No, yeah. So these models basically, and I choose the one that is most conveniently phrased in terms of single unit category. So meaning the category of module categories of effect. Yes, okay, so that's the thing. So look at the home and you look at read it on Y. And because this thing has an action of backgrading. So in fact, this home is not in which over backgraded, it's in graded. And so this thing, what can show that is equivalent to the mixed home complex in the original guy. But you turn, but that's something to it, and that is you turn weights into weight. That's the meaning that you can bring at the home level. So that's what it's saying. Right? So after these two remarks, right? Essentially this thing, if you know how tensor category works, you realize that this thing, all this thing is saying is that you just turn weight into grading at the home level. That's all it means. But you have to really, it's easy carry, you have to always worry about all the higher stuff. So good that that's the way to encapsulate it. Right? Okay, and then the third remark is that you might have objected that on the left hand side there's something on the right hand side, right? It depends on the choice of a FQ form of Y. A priori, but in fact it's independent. So in fact we look at this category and show it's independent of the choice of the FQ form of Y. And so that allows us to define this using only the FQ bar object. All right. So that's kind of the first step in defining this equation. Okay, so now we go back to the Hecke category. We want to see why this gives us the correct object. So one of the things that makes this thing annoying to viewers, or at least when I first saw it for the first time, you see homotopy category of some additive category instead of some derived category of C. And when you see category of C on some space, you face the derived category of something rather than some homotopy category of something. So here's something that into the picture, something of the weight structure that allows us to realize the abstract category as some thing or something. And this was invented by the model in Marshall independently. So roughly speaking, so it models So we talked about a triangular category models the brutal compression. And so for T structure, the model kind of small compression doesn't mix up. I mean, just kill some cohort group, but doesn't change any of them otherwise. Whereas this thing, right, we just have kind of the same concept, I just stupidly truncate. And then, so that's the very excellent that they came up with. And it looks very much like a structure, except that truncation goes the other way around. So when you look at superconcating, you see that the less than equal to 0 looks like it's actually should be greater than equal to 0. But that's kind of the main difference between wave structure and T structure. Okay, and there's one thing that very cool about wave structure is that even if you translate category C with the wave structure, there's something called for this we really need to mention enhancement. There's a function called a weight complex function that go from the original category to its weight function. So actually this goes on parallel story. My work that Williamson going to have a similar construction, but in the mixed world it's called the chromatographic complex construction. So this is kind of similar. And this is very close to the middle. Okay, and when this category has no negative x, then this thing is an equivalent category. We get bounded and so on, but not thinking. This is kind of a thing. Okay, so that gives us a device to realize something as the value in complex over some other value. And so I would say one thing is that so for this structure, the T half is being category whereas for wave structure, the half is just only the category. So the next number 4 is that one half in stack. Why?
This is not the home top category.
This is the DG category. This
Okay.
is the DG category.
This guy.
So here's the theorem. So we showed that integrated from y as restructured and reverse restructured. That satisfy the decomposition theory. Meaning purely implied semi-simplicity. The reason I say reverse here is because they are very responsible from this category to the category of y, and so there's a function from category to this category, and all of those have a reverse instruction. And I use both reverse to indicate that all the functions are t exact with respect to this system.
Your y is any origin set?
Well, it's only always after a category key. Okay, so just one thing is that many of you have heard purely implies simplicity before, right? And so let me say one thing that is to make sure that nothing is confusing here. So
do you need here some kind of branching of channels?
no, there's no challenge. I'll keep the
But do you need it?
it's all active boundaries because I'm using convenience rate. Right, so what to do this, I really have to pick the actual form of my thing, and then I use the Venus weight there, and then construct this category, and then later on do the independent of this stuff. But ultimately, I really need to keep some activity to construct this category. Okay, so one is that if mix C, I'm talking about mixed complexes over this or the view type doesn't have any something. So what we call the convenience weight in this world doesn't satisfy all the accents of the weight structure. I mean, the main reason is that this is the convenience relativity. And so using the equalization theorem of PVDG before, and that version is essentially this: if you have a pure complex over SQ, then its pullback over SQ bar is semi-simple. So you really have to pull back that SQ bar to have this semi-simplicity. But in this category, pure ultimately implies semi-simplicity. So that's the difference between this and the PVDG theorem. But of course, all the actual theoretic contents are in the work, which is really use all that and formulate this is carried to big speed. And it's not some new theoretic meaning. It's mostly it's kind of work. Okay, so this is what we got in T theory. And so the next thing is that essentially one of the things we've done already for the T, you know, it's easily recasted in the world of radius things. And it's easy to see that essentially the same theorem, same result. But this is in fact true. And in fact, this also has no negative x. In fact, no x with any degree except for degree 0. And so we can apply this remark to this very complex construction. And that's a corollary. You see that you really see what G mod mean is now just okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is how to use this and all the treatment of formalism that we work so hard to obtain to study the categorical traces and the Drinfeld center of the Hecke category. So to say that everything I talked about so far already appeared. So what I'm going to talk about now, hopefully will appear soon. Okay, so let me mostly talk about trace. Let me kind of geometric way to think about trace that actually helps. At least to see why character is structural error. Okay, so here's the picture. So an algebra in symmetric monoidal category C can be viewed as a symmetric monoidal function. So yeah, we really use the language of infinity categories here. This one, which will be reflected here by the strong union, the target elegance. A is such a number. That's a symmetric function. And so the image of just a line is given by this A itself. So that's kind of the usual. The usual notation that we use the notation for underlying object to denote algebra. Then for this joint union of two line segments, it's just A tessellate itself. And then the logarithm is carrying on values, and that will induce multiplication structure. So in this term of what is the trace of an algebra? The trace algebra well, like this, so again, I look at the manifold, one manifold, and this symmetrical structure here like joint union. And I look at the common category. Then I have a function from that you see. Right, so objects in here are just line segments with an embedding into the one. And then there is these things are going on. And then I take the colimit of this function. So again, C has to be nice enough to have all of these homotopy colimits. So the trace, both can send the trace of A is the colimit over all the I not into I is finished with R. Then 10 times. So the 1 and then 8. This is one way to define this. Okay, so now let me describe what is this, what Hecke, what are these functions A and how do we see characteristics going happen and how do we see how the type of function appear. So I will start by composing many functions. That's what I mean. One, and then we go to space, and pair space. So this is a carrier of correspondences in pair space. Objects in here are of the form one space not intervals. And morphism in here are just diagonal. That's the correspondence, but as an object, that's co-correspondence. And so an object in here is of this form. The morphism of this object to this object is such a diagonal. So I will describe this later. And then here, I will go to the kind of correspondences instead. And then finally, I will fit to end up in that graded motion. So the composition of this will allow us to see how the grid interacts with characteristics and homozygous. Right, so let's see the ambient carrier C. So we're going to plug in the carrier of DG categories with that graded module structure. That's our C. All right, and then let me first describe this function. So given a one manifold M, let's see that somehow this actually gives a nice interpretation of the whole theory. But you look at the pair boundary of M, not of M. And then for each pair in here, N, not N, the corresponding set is just the set of maps from, if I do this as constant set, it will be this set. So that's the more complete way to write this down. It's a mapping stack. N to VB over N to VG and then N to V. This is some factor, right? Now I integrated then. There's a little overly abstract. So let me just write one example, a couple of examples. Hopefully they will what this is all about. They are plugging R view line, then that will send to the two boundary mapping to view line. So that's the object in the second category. And then applying the second function, so that essentially gave me the G local system on the line plus two B structure on 2 points. So that's inside the DB times DB over BB, which is just another name for G model. And then if you plug in like a bunch of these things, log in and so on, then you will just get integrated over product of this guy. That's the R to B. Really, you want to integrate this guy to the K time. So here I'm using another instance where hence a product and product are actually the same. So something we want to do. Then lastly, if you plug in the circle, so the circle has no boundary. So that will go to like the whole function of it with the D model. And then one more thing, suppose to look at the embedding of a line segment into circle. And you change to the graph of the construction, you will see that this will go to the point correspondence in the third category. So it's going to go to D not me, and then G not me, and D not me. There's another point that I can solve this whole function from manifold 1. But the original Hecke algebra is only from least 1. And then I will take coordinates for this manifold 1 over the least 1 over manifold 1. And so by the universal property, I will also get a function from trace. This is the universal property of coordinates. We already map to the this one is universal property of coordinates. Okay, so this describes how correspondence goes up and how coordinates are created from categories happening. And so let me formulate the precise theorem going through. So the theorem says that the Mathas function that is described over there actually embeds fully faithfully into this guy. And moreover, it is generated so that the Mathas function will be anything in the diagram will map to the coordinate. So it's fully faithful. And moreover, this category is generated by the central image of this category and the finite coordinates and moreover, this thing is the horizontal correspondence going through this. So that's what we know. And so under this picture, right? Earlier there was a question that was one. The here, right? And this is the trace function. If you change all the way here, what you really get is the volume. This is the British version. If you forget the grading, then just the beautiful things you get on the image. And so we'll call this, what's the name of this category? We'll call it the category of graded, uniform graded category. So if you forget the grading, then you get back to the usual thing that people study extensively. Okay, and now I want to understand what is NM of spring. So this actually has been calculated by people in the But you run a program using completely different means, so you use a transcendental method, and then prove the Bode theorem. That when you work over C and keep over C and everything over C, and you use transcendental method, one can prove that the energy freedom of that stringer, the U product of the stringer, this is. And so it's complete by transcendental method. And so by some sort of spreading argument to get the result of Q from the result of C, you get the same statement for not really good. So it's a corollary, you get the same thing. But now we're waiting for these variables. And the same time now we're waiting. So upgrade to a graded level. Okay, so so let's say one thing before I finish. So this is probably the trade form. So that's a dual argument here allows you to compute the center part. And as it turns out, the center is actually bigger than the space. So sometimes that is surprising because if you know the argument of meant to be in Mathas, they prove that the trees and center are the same. So why do we see center to be different here? So the reason is that so they work with the large category ball and then when they define center, you look at functors from one to another. And when you work with large category, you will all get continuous. And then in that world, so if you look at instead of if you look at the incomplete of Hecke category, and you get center in the big category world, then you do indeed get the center will be the same as the tree. If you work with the small categories, that's a good work, which are very actually larger than the tree. And in fact, the difference is roughly speaking the difference between Earth and the river. So I'll look very closely related to the qualification story of Torsby and Torsby. But yeah, so yeah, this is from the